Hi everyone, in this video we are going to practice naming covalent compounds. So specifically we're going to work on covalent nomenclature. And so we're going to do 3 different types of problems today. The first one is very straightforward. I'm going to give you 2 covalent formulas and I just want you to name them. Go. Alright, did you get an answer? Hopefully you did. These are fairly straightforward. And so just remember or recall whenever you're naming something, specifically a covalent compound, you just name both of the elements and you change the ending with the last one, okay? So for this one, we're going to name both pieces. So we have phosphorus and chlorine, but remember we're going to change the ending of that second one, so that becomes chloride. So this becomes phosphorus, I'm going to leave a space for that prefix, and then we have our chloride, IDE. The second component or the second element always changes its ending to IDE. So for this example, we've named both of our elements. Now we need to name the number of each one that we have. So for phosphorus, there's a hidden one there. We can't really see it, but so instead of writing monophosphorus, we just drop that and we just say phosphorus. Then the chlorine or the chloride is something we need to look at. We have 5 of those, and so this becomes pentachloride, okay? Pentachloride. So we have phosphorus, pentachloride is our final answer, which is pretty cool. All right, now our second one, same thing as before. You name both of your species, change your ending, then add your prefixes. So we have our chlorine, I-N-E, and then we have something, we're going to skip that, and then fluorine, so F-L-U-O-R-I. Now it would be N-E, but we're changing our ending, so this becomes fluoride, I-D-E. So instead of fluorine, it's fluoride. All right, so same thing as before, there's a hidden one here, so instead of monochlorine, you never use mono in the very beginning of something, you just drop it, so this becomes chlorine. Now you have 3 of these, so we have trifluoride. Chlorine trifluoride is exactly how you would name that, or how you would say ClF3 to somebody if they'd ask. All right, so let's try the reverse direction. So now I'm going to give you some words or some names, and I want you to actually derive the formula for me, okay? Go. All right, did you get an answer? Hopefully you did, but if you didn't, don't get frustrated. We're going to work through this together. So when I personally am taking a name of a covalent compound and am converting it to a formula of a covalent compound, the first thing I absolutely do is try to identify what are my elements. What am I even using here? So I have nitrogen. It says it right there, so I'm going to go ahead and put a big capital N, and then I go to my second one and I see oxide. Remember, oxide is just oxygen, but it's the second element, so we've changed that ending. So now we have an O, or an oxygen. So dinitrogen, di meaning 2, so we have N2 here, and then tetroxide. Tetra is actually the prefix, but you don't do the AO, so it ends up being tetroxide. So we have 4 oxygens. So the correct formula for this would be N2O4. Pretty easy. Now the second one hopefully is something that you know, because I keep using it over and over and over again, but it's one that you just have to have down. You need to know that. I want you to see carbon monoxide and immediately go, whatever it is, we'll do that in a second for the formula, okay? So carbon, that's your C. Oxide, again, that's your oxygen, so you have an O. There's nothing in front of the carbon here, so we know it's an implied mono, so there's 1 here. Then we actually see the word mono here, so there's also 1 there as well. So the correct formula for carbon monoxide is strictly CO. Not OC, it is CO. All right, so now 1 more of each. Let's see if we can finally nail this down. Try selenium dioxide and S2F2. Go. All right, so you get an answer? Hopefully you did, because this is our 5th and 6th example, so hopefully this is really starting to make sense now. But just in case it's not, let's work through it together. So I'm going to start with number 5. Selenium, it's very straightforward. Obviously, there's a hidden mono right there. So we're looking at selenium, and there's just 1 of them. Oxide, we've done this 1,000 times already today. Oxide is short for oxygen, and then we see di meaning 2, so our final compound is actually SeO2. Pretty straightforward, selenium dioxide. We've seen that before with sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide. Same type of thing, we just have renamed that first component. All right, now number 6, S2F2. So a little bit trickier. We definitely have 2 different elements here, so we're going to name them first. So I have sulfur, and I have fluorine, so F-L-U-O-R-I-N-E, but remember you change the ending, so it's not I-N-E, it's I-D-E, so you have sulfur fluoride, but we need to put some of our prefixes here, so we have 2 and 2, so that's pretty easy. 2 is di, and then di, and so our final thing is disulfur difluoride, so that's 2 words, so let me just rewrite this to make sure that there's no confusion here. Disulfur space difluoride. fluoride. All right, that's your final component. Hopefully this is starting to make sense. If it's not, practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. You got it. Drink water.